When I was a kid and I did something stupid and I was feeling bad about myself and kind of down, there was two things I would usually do. The first thing I would do is I'd go up to my room and I'd pray. I'd talk to Jesus. I'd tell him how I was feeling, that I was sad, and he would always comfort me. The second thing I would do was then, usually shortly after praying or whatever, a couple days later, I'd go down into our basement and I'd play Mario Kart. You all know what I'm talking about, old timers, Mario Kart, that game, that racing game with Mario. And I would pretend that God was, or Jesus was by my side playing. It was very healing. I didn't feel alone. When I was condemning myself, gosh, you're such an idiot, right? Jesus would come and he would lift me up. It was very profound. Well, one of my favorite tracks on Mario Kart was the track called Rainbow Road. Kids, you know what I'm talking about, that game? I still think it's on Mario Kart. It was on the original Super Nintendo and then N64. Rainbow Road. Now, I say that because there literally was a rainbow road. And obviously, the rainbow is a sign we have at the end of the flood, the sign of God's covenant in our first reading from Genesis. There was a road connected as I'm playing Mario Kart, and then earlier as I'm praying when I'm feeling bad, a road from my heart to God's heart. God and I are traveling between each other's hearts, loving each other. It literally is a rainbow road, a road that is only possible, that was only made possible because of Jesus Christ and all the way back to the covenant with Noah. So this story is just absolutely brilliant. If you read before the flood, there's a fascinating line where it says that God destroyed the earth because there was not any good desire in mankind's heart. Man's heart before the flood was completely corrupted. There was not one little sign or shred of goodness in man's heart. And because man's heart was completely corrupted, the earth was also completely corrupted. It was like the earth was a reflection of mankind's heart. And I actually kind of still think sometimes that's the case today. We're all bad. We're all sinners. We make our mistakes. We have our shortcomings. But we still have a good heart. There's still always beneath all the murkiness of sin, that desire that we have for God, goodness. Before the flood wasn't the case, except for one man, for Noah. Noah was the one good man left on the face of the earth. We hear in Genesis that Noah walked with God. He was a holy and righteous man. Now, Noah was a sinner, make no mistake. Noah had his shortcomings and his flaws. Remember, after the flood, he gets drunk. But Noah's heart, though, still desires God. Beneath all the murkiness of Noah's sin, he fundamentally wants to trust in God. He wants to love God. He wants to surrender to God. He wants to be in union with God. He wants to serve God, to serve his people. Kind of like us, right? We want to be about God. Noah was a man of God. And so the flood is not so much about God destroying the earth because it's a forsaken place, and the flood isn't about God's wrath and anger and just disgust, wanting to start over. It's rather about Noah, and God instead wanting to preserve Noah, to preserve the good human heart. So Noah goes on to the ark, and it rains for 40 days, kind of like Lent, right? And then when the ark lands on dry earth and Noah walks out, Noah is the first man on the face of the earth, literally. He is the new Adam. He's the new creation. And remember, Noah's heart is good. And so mankind now is good, has the heart of Noah. There's that great phrase in Genesis, the sons and daughters of Noah. We are the sons and daughters of Noah. We have Noah's DNA. That is, we have, beneath all of our sin and our weaknesses, the heart that desires God. We have, even if it's just a tiny ounce, It's there, of goodness within us. And so the rainbow is the sign or the symbol of God's covenant, that he'll never destroy the earth again. Why? Because the earth can never again be completely corrupt as it was before, because Noah and the sons and daughters of Noah's hearts can never become completely corrupt. The rainbow is that bridge, that road between God's heart and our heart. We desire God. We desire to send our love up that rainbow road to the heart of God, and vice versa. God desires and does send his love, his heart down into us. The span between heaven and earth, the rainbow. Well, here we are now, the temptation in the desert. Now, the Gospel of Mark is also fascinating, very different than Matthew and Luke's account of the temptation. Matthew and Luke specifically give the three temptations of Satan. Turn the stones into bread, throw yourself down from the temple parapet, and your angels will catch you, and worship me, and I'll give you all the kingdoms of the world. Those are in Matthew and Luke, the three temptations. Mark doesn't give us that. It's very short. It just says the Spirit drove Jesus out into the desert. It's kind of like Noah. The Spirit drove Noah out into the quote-unquote desert of the sea. He was among the wild beasts. Jesus was, as Mark says, sound familiar? Noah in the ark with the wild beasts. Angels ministered to him, and angels protected Noah and his family on the ark. And all it says then, Mark, is that Satan tempted Jesus. Now, what is Satan trying to tempt Jesus to do? It's not those three things. That's in Matthew and Luke. Here, Satan's trying to tempt Jesus to destroy the rainbow, smash the rainbow road. Give up on humankind, Satan tries to tell Jesus, because humankind has given up on you. You don't really love man. Man doesn't really love you. That's what Satan's trying to tell Jesus, to break that line between your two hearts. Jesus doesn't give in. Jesus knows that the identity of God is to love men and women, the sons and daughters of Noah. And we, sons and daughters of Noah, here in this ark this morning, will always, always love God. You, brothers and sisters, will never give up on God. You are the sons and daughters of Noah. Amen.